Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rohit Kapoor and welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits and how these transits impact all 12 ascendant signs. In the recent times I have made a video on predictions related to the month of November, also a video on Mars's transit, which is the debilitated transit, and also a video on Jupiter's retrograde transit. Today this video that I am making is on Venus's upcoming transit in the sign of Sagittarius. That is happening on 7th of November, and Venus is going to stay in the sign of Sagittarius till 2nd of December, and how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs. There's a very important phenomena that is happening during the transit of Venus. Venus and Jupiter are involved in a parivartan yoga or an exchange yoga. Venus being the ruler of Taurus, where Jupiter is placed, and it is retrograde at the moment. Venus is placed in the sign of Sagittarius and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Therefore, they have exchanged places. They are in each other's sign. So it is a 2 and 9 parivartana yoga between the Dhan Bhava, the Kutumba Bhava, the natural second house, and the natural ninth house, which is the natural Dharma Bhava or the natural Bhagya Bhava, which is the house of fortune. Before I jump into the analysis for all 12 ascendant signs, I have a very important tip. And this is going to be a continuous practice. In each video, I'm going to give you a very important tip which will be based on the deep secrets of Vedic astrology. Today's tip or this knowledge is related to Jupiter and Venus and the kind of role that they play in our charts. I'm going to talk about two things here. One is both of them are called gurus. One is Devaguru, that is Jupiter, Brihaspati. The other is Daitya Guru, that is Venus or Shukra. Now there is a similarity and there is a difference between Jupiter and Venus as well. The similarity is that both of them are Brahmin grahas, but the difference is Jupiter is Sattva Guna, Venus is Rajas Guna. One is a Sattvic planet, that is Jupiter, the other is a Rajasic planet, that is Venus. Jupiter rules the northeast direction, wherein Venus rules the southeast direction. Now understand from Jupiter's point of view, if someone has a strongly disposed Jupiter in the chart, it somehow pushes the person towards northeast direction from where they are. Now north is the significator of wealth. This is the direction where we get our wealth from. Eastern direction is about knowledge, gain of knowledge, and that too spiritual knowledge, which we call Vedanta. So from a wealth point of view, whether it is wealth related to finances and also knowledge, Jupiter plays the very important role. That is why Jupiter is known to be the most benefic planet at the natural level. Venus rules the southeast direction. Now south is where we spend our money. A lot of astrologers and people talk about Venus being associated to wealth, or it's a wealth giving planet, it's a money giving planet. On contrary, it increases expenditure, but Venus will teach the person where to have this expenditure, how to have this expenditure, and expenditure is directly proportionate to your wealth. If your expenditure increases, so does your wealth increases. Therefore, from that point of view, Venus plays an important role. It rules south and east. So south is where your expenditure is. How are you going to incur it? East is all about knowledge and how you gain that knowledge, knowledge of Vedanta, spiritual knowledge. And therefore, both these gurus play a very important role as far as knowledge is concerned. And one is about wealth that you accumulate, the other is about wealth that you spend. So look out in your chart whether you have a strong Jupiter or a strong Venus. The other important message that I'd like to give you is that those people who have a strongly disposed Jupiter and Venus in their Navamsha or the D9 chart, which is the chart of Bhagya, this is the chart of fortune. This is also related to your marriage. This is related to your past karmas and how those karmas are going to manifest in your current life. If someone has a strongly disposed Jupiter in their chart or Venus in their chart, for example, if they're exalted, if they're in their own sign or even a friendly sign, that person is likely to have a comfortable life from a wealth point of view and from a knowledge point of view. That means if Jupiter is strongly placed in the chart, you will have knowledge related to Vedanta, and it is good from a wealth point of view as well. If someone has a strongly disposed Venus in the chart, for example, if Venus is in Pisces, Taurus or Libra, or if Jupiter is in Cancer, it's in Sagittarius or Pisces in the Navamsha chart in your D9 chart. So if you have a strongly disposed Jupiter in your Navamsha chart or your D9 chart, which means Jupiter either is in Cancer, it's exalted, in Pisces or in Sagittarius, which is its own and Multricone sign. That means you will have a huge inclination towards Vedanta or spiritual knowledge, and at the same time it is good from a wealth point of view as well, but this gives a lot of wealth related to knowledge, and there is a certain set of comfort, particularly in the second half of the person's life, midlife onwards. If someone has a strongly disposed Venus in their Navamsha, if Venus is in Pisces exalted or in its Multricone sign or own house, if it's in Libra or Taurus, this gives the person huge inclination towards mundane knowledge, towards practical insights, and also the ability to live material comforts, driving luxurious cars, living a luxurious life, because this person would like to spend a lot. And if you were to manage this expenditure, you would naturally get sources of income. And if someone has both being very strong in the chart, that means the person would struggle somehow to balance between the spiritual and the material life towards sattvic energies and also the rajasic energies. And if these are weak in your Navamsha, then it becomes a cause of concern, and we need to have certain remedy if you were to gain knowledge related to Vedanta, and at the same time if you were to improve your wealth creating opportunities. This is something which calls for serious remedies related to Venus and Jupiter. That's the kind of role that they play. And this is my astrological tip for the day. And now let's talk about how Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. At the physical level, you must read this transit from your ascendant sign. At the mental level, you can read this from your moon sign. Those who are running through Dasha, Antardasha, Pratantardasha of Venus or Shukra, Jupiter, even Mercury, because Venus will be aspecting the sign of Gemini that is ruled by Mercury, they will be impacted the most by this transit. In case you're running through Dasha, Antardasha of Saturn as well, then also you're likely to be impacted by this transit. Therefore, it plays a huge significance. Let us begin with Aries ascendant. For Aries, this transit of Venus, which is your second and the seventh lord, Venus for you rules your kutumba, your wealth, your income, your family, your speech, what you consume, what you eat, also your seventh lord of marriage, partnership, those people who are opposite to you. So it plays a very important role in all the family matters for Aries ascendants. This is making a transit in your ninth house of Dharma, fortune, bhagya. From a transit perspective, this Venus is forming a strong Lakshmi yoga in transit, and this Venus is going to be aspecting your third house by its seventh aspect of desire. Venus desires change during this time. Venus desires you to bring in a sense of eloquence in your communication. Shukra is all about interaction with other people in this world. So it wants you to strengthen your interaction so that you could improve your partnerships, improve your interpersonal relationship with people, and also at the same time create opportunities for you to gain wealth. Jupiter and Venus are involved in a parivartan yoga, an exchange yoga, for nearly a month. And this is a huge opportunity because this is the 2 and the 9 parivartana or the exchange in your case. So your second lord and ninth lord have exchanged houses in transit. Ninth lord is Jupiter. It is also your 12th lord, already making a transit in the second house in a retrograde motion. Okay, so this is a kind of opportunity where they have switched roles. So this Venus is going to be acting like Jupiter during this transit, sitting in your ninth house, elevating and expanding your bhagya, bringing more opportunities as far as a secondary source of income is concerned. There is also certain karma related to your marriage, related to your relationship, related to your partnership that you must watch out for, that you must pay careful attention to during this time, because this will bring in renewed focus on your relationship, on your partnership, on your marriage, and try to mend those ties with your partner. Avoid any kind of conflicting situation for the next 1 month. This could be a scenario for you, this could be a situation for you. You need to be the protector of your bhagya. Your 3-9 axis is pretty active. In case you go on a spiritual journey, a spiritual retreat, this will bring in a sense of reflection and rejuvenation during this time. Use mantras related to Jupiter. You can use a simple mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Sada Shivaya, which is the primary deity associated to Jupiter. or at the same time you can use a simple mantra Om Guruve Namah. This way you will strengthen Jupiter, which is sitting in your second house during the transit, which is already in a favorable position, and you will be able to channelize this Venus towards the right direction. And I wish you the very best for this transit. Now let's talk about Taurus Ascendants and what's happening with Taurus Ascendants as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. That is happening on 7th of November till 2nd of December, which is a very important transit because this time Venus and Jupiter are involved in a parivartan yoga, in an exchange yoga, which is very powerful yoga. And for Taurus, it's your Lagna Lord. So regardless of your Dasha, Antardasha, Pratantardasha, you are likely to be impacted by this transit. Venus rules your ascendant, yourself, your overall body, your personality, your vitality. It is also your 6th Lord, so it has dual lordship. It rules competition, enemies, your debts, your loans, your diseases, health and well-being, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. This Venus is making a transit in your 8th house, in the sign of Sagittarius. Now in 8th house, Venus generally does well because it's benefic planet, it's your Lagna Lord, and at the same time Venus is the only planet that achieved the knowledge of Mrit Sanjeevani by the blessings of Lord Shiva. And 8th house is the house of longevity. It is the house of sudden changes, sudden ups and downs, places across the sea. And your 6th Lord coming in the 8th house is also a Viparita Yoga in transit. Situation could go adverse, eventually you will rise. This is a transformational month for you, okay? Because this Venus is aspecting your 2nd house, so it wants you to improve matters pertaining to your family, pertaining to your income. It wants you to have a secondary source of income. And if your work involves commission, this time period you could benefit. Any sort of commission, if you have any trading, or if you buy and sell, or if you give any services wherein you have an opportunity to earn commission, you are likely to see an increase in your finances. Why I said that this is a transformational transit? Because your 1st Lord and 8th Lord are involved in an exchange or a parivartana. So this Venus is more or less like your Jupiter sitting in the 8th house, and Jupiter is going to be acting as Venus sitting in your ascendant. So during this time you would want to consciously work on your personality, on your personality development, on your self-grooming. You'll be very focused on how you present yourself, how you talk to other people, how you leverage your wisdom and knowledge in conversations with other people, because what you speak will matter a lot. You will have a softness in your voice. You will be able to influence other people during this time. So first few days could be a bit challenging, but eventually you will rise. See, Jupiter is gaining direction strength in your 1st house. It's going retrograde. It's your 8th and 11th Lord, but it's Digbali. So there are blessings of Lord Shiva during this time. There are blessings of Devatas during this time. So that is how you need to make the most of it. From a transformation point of view, this Venus is giving you certain strength to build your character, and your morals will be of utmost importance to you during this time. Do not deviate from your path to take unnecessary steps, because there is no shortcut, no unethical means or ways to earn income. So try and avoid that, because you might be inclined towards taking certain steps. So you need to be careful in these matters, okay? You need to worship Goddess Lakshmi, Durga, Shakti, any of the female deity. Use a simple mantra Om Lakshmi Namah during this time. You could be benefited by this transit, and for that I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Gemini Ascendants and what's happening with Gemini Ascendants as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For you, Venus becomes the most important planet because it's your 5th Lord, and based on Brihad Parashar Hora Shastra, for Gemini, Venus is the only Yoga Karaka Graha. It also rules your 12th house. So firstly, from a 5th Lord point of view, it rules your future, your progress, what you were to do, how you will succeed in life, whether you will achieve positional success, your children, your creativity. It plays a very important role in all wealth-related matters, and also your expenditure, because it's your 12th Lord, your Lord of bed comforts, higher self-consciousness, your ability to become more self-aware. This Venus is going to be making a transit in the 7th house. Thankfully, it is moving out of its Maran Karakasthana, wherein you might have faced a lot of opposition in the last few days, but it's moving now in your 7th house. And this is where Venus is the very significator of the 7th house, because it signifies relationship, it signifies interaction between people. It is the Karaka of love, of abundance. And here, this Venus is involved in a parivartana. Now your 7th Lord and 12th Lord have exchanged places. So this Venus is acting as if it is Jupiter, expanding the matters pertaining to your 7th house, and it will be aspecting your ascendant, your first house. So it is an opportunity for you to improve your personality, to influence other people. You will have the ability to create hundreds and thousands of followers during this time. You will have the ability to influence people who hold authority by the virtue of your knowledge and by the virtue of your practical approach in life. Okay, in terms of things that work well, if you are in the business of consulting, advisory, you could be benefited during this transit. So 7 and 12 house exchange is more of mixed result, but there's a relationship karma. Relationship is going to improve, it's going to strengthen. You will get favors from female colleagues at workplace. If you work with female colleagues or your female supervisor or bosses, you will get certain favors, even from clients. Okay, because in your 12th house, Jupiter is making a transit. It is retrograde, looking back at your 11th house, trying to make new ways of having gains, and it's your 7th and the 10th Lord. So workplace related matters and family matters, particularly your relationship with your spouse or your partner, that is going to be the focus of the hour. It is going to improve, it is going to strengthen during this time. So your higher self-consciousness, the more aware you become about yourself, it will be better for you. Read Shri Suktam on a daily basis. That's the ultimate remedy for you. The personality is going to improve. It is an opportunity transit for you. This window certainly will bring in new opportunities as far as work is concerned, as far as business is concerned, and the relationship is going to strengthen. For those people who've been looking forward to settling down or getting married, this could be a potentially favorable time for you to find the right match, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Cancer Ascendants. For Cancer Ascendants, Venus becomes the 4th Lord and the 11th Lord. It's got 2 lordships. It's more of a neutral planet for you because it is ruling a Kendra house. 4th Lord of happiness, your comfort space, your Sukha Bhav, your mother, homeland, where you feel most protected. This is the house of compassion, the natural house of moon. And it's your 11th Lord, the Lord of gains, your wider social network, also bigger enemies because it is 6th from your 6th house. So we see enemies from the 11th house. It is the natural Padak house. This Venus is making a transit in your 6th house of deaths and diseases, your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your loans, competition, enemies. We see enemies from this house. We also see intelligence from this house. Okay, Venus gains Maran Karaka position in the 6th house. Therefore, it somehow loses its significance as far as this particular house of the transit is concerned. So somehow, at a natural perspective, you will have to spend more energies in terms of improving or uplifting significations related to Venus. I'm not saying it's a totally bad transit for you. It will make you step out of your comfort zone. But stepping out of the comfort zone is for your good because change is inevitable. So you could get a new project, new assignment, which could cause some stress that you're not pleased about. And therefore, you will have to step into the situation and take charge, take control of the situation. There could be some enmity, some conflict with friends. So be careful of this. Try to, isolate yourself from any argument, any confrontation, particularly where other people are involved. So try not to be the mediator if you can't manage the situation, because it could be detrimental for your relationship as far as your relationship with that person is concerned. This Venus is involved in a parivartan yoga or an exchange yoga with Jupiter. Okay, so there is a 6th house and 11th house parivartan yoga that is happening during this time. Jupiter for you is the 6th and the 9th Lord, which is making a transit in the 11th house in a retrograde motion. And these two are involved in parivartan. So you have to be careful of other people because this could increase enmity. This Venus is acting as if it's a Jupiter in the 6th house, and Jupiter will be acting as if it's Venus in the 11th house, which could increase enmity in your life, which could increase certain opposition. However, you can make some important decisions related to loan, related to debts, okay, related to your finances during this time. So you could either repay or get a mortgage, and this will be good for you. It could be potentially a good decision for you. the more you're prepared to step out of your comfort zone, it will be better for you. Your mother's health could be of a concern, and that's something which you have to be careful of during this time. Okay, and from a remedial point of view, you need to strengthen your moon, which is your Lagna Lord. So use Krishna mantra during this time. Okay, any mantra or worship related to Krishna, which is associated to moon, and yoga sadhana that will strengthen your mind, because that needs to be pretty strong in order to cope up with this transit, in order to face any odds or any competition and overcome that competition. And for that, I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Leo ascendants and what's happening with Leo ascendants as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For Leos, Venus becomes the third lord and the 10th lord. It has an important lordship because it's your 10th lord. It is also the third lord of valor, courage, your change. It also signifies growth, because we see growth from the third house as well, your younger siblings. And it's your 10th lord of karma, your profession, your actions in the society, things that you do to survive, to sustain in this world, your growth path. This Venus is making a transit in your 5th house. It is forming a very important yoga. This is the yoga of progress, because see, we see kingdom, Rajya from 5th house and the 10th house. 10th lord making a transit in the 5th house, 5th lord making a transit in the 10th house are generally auspicious transits, and these are opportunity transits as far as work related matters are concerned and as far as progress is concerned. So firstly, this Venus is aspecting your 11th house by its 7th aspect of desire. Venus desires gains during this time, but gains through right means, not through wrong means, because Venus in the 5th house can also make a person corrupt. It could corrupt your mind to find short cuts or probably faster ways of earning income, or deviating from your path. So stay grounded, be ethical. That is the key message for you, because if you follow an ethical path, you will remain strong. You have an exchange, parivartan yoga during this time of your 5th lord and the 10th lord, Jupiter and Venus, which is the most powerful parivartana yoga, because there are two Rajya bhavas that are involved. Jupiter is your 5th lord and the 8th lord. It is already making retrograde transit in your 10th house, trying to re-evaluate decisions related to your career, trying to bring focus on your bhagya, on your dharma. Now this Venus is acting as if it's Jupiter in the 5th house. So for those people who are trying to plan their family, it could be a positive time period. It could be an opportunity time period for you to think about planning your family, having children. Love interest could be on a higher side. So if you were to get into a relationship, if your dasha antardasha is supportive, you could have a new partner during this time. There is a high probability that you might meet someone. Okay. From a perspective of gains, you could have some sort of increment, incentive in case your dasha antardasha is supportive, because there are a couple of dhan yogas that are pretty much active during this time. In order to ensure that you get the maximum results of these yogas, you need to strengthen your Surya, Sun, offer Argha to Surya, chant Aditya Hridaya Strotam, or use mantras related to Surya or Lord Ram during this time. This is going to strengthen and support you as far as your future pursuits are concerned. It's a time for you to plan your future work, the change that is coming as far as the future is concerned, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Virgo ascendants and what's happening with Virgo ascendants as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For you, Venus rules the 2nd house and the 9th house. It plays a very important role in wealth and fortune, wealth and bhagya. Therefore, Venus is a very important planet. It is one of the Karaka Grahas for Virgo ascendants. It is the ruler of your wealth, your Kutumba Bhava, which is your family, your speech, what you consume, what you eat, the kind of food that you eat, how you convey your message, what you say. Your 9th lord of bhagya, dharma, long journeys, your father figure, your guru, higher spiritual knowledge is seen by the 9th house. This Venus is making a transit in your 4th house. In the 4th house, firstly, this house is about comfort space. It is a compassionate house. This is the house of compassion. Your mother, your safe space is seen from this house. Homeland, and how comfortable you are. Your assets, real estate, the ability to buy, vehicles are seen from this house. This Venus in the 4th house gains directional strength. Therefore, there are blessings of Ma Lakshmi during this time. There are blessings of Devatas during this time. So it's an important transit for you to ensure a good closure for 2024. It's an opportunity window for you that is not going to come for the next year. And Venus and Jupiter are involved in a parivartan, in an exchange. It's an exchange between your 4th lord and your 9th lord. Now, Jupiter also becomes Bhadakesh for you, but this time Venus is gaining a stronger position compared to Jupiter. So any obstacles that you were facing all the while, which made you very uncomfortable, that is going to reduce during this time. It's a very positive and a powerful parivartan yoga with your 4th and the 9th lord. Here, Jupiter will start behaving, acting as if it's Venus sitting in your 9th house, elevating your bhagya. Take a spiritual journey, practice yoga, practice sadhana, try to connect with the nature during this time. This could be highly beneficial for you. If you take up any travel, if you go on a spiritual journey, that will bring in a lot of mindfulness, that will bring in reflective power to help you make some good decisions. Jupiter for you is the 4th and the 7th lord, and it's one of the Bhadakesh as well. This transit is going to reduce obstacles. This Venus is aspecting your 10th house by its 7th aspect of desire. It desires you to improve your workspace. You need to declutter your house and also your office wherever you sit, whether you work from home. Clean your desk, do it yourself, or clean your desk in your office. The scenario, the situation, the environment at workplace is likely to improve. Condition, you need to come out of your shell and interact with people. Open up. This is the kind of opportunity which is there for you during this time, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Libra Ascendants. For Libra Ascendants, Venus plays a very important role. It's your Lagna Lord, Lord of the Ascendant, and it's going to make a transit in your 3rd house in the sign of Sagittarius and involved in the Parivartana Yoga with Jupiter. So it's a 3rd and the 8th house Parivartana Yoga. So firstly, Venus is your Ascendant Lord, Lord of yourself, your overall personality, your vitality, your immunity. Knowledge is seen from this house, your intelligence is seen from this house. And it's also your 8th Lord of transformation, of longevity, of Ayush, sudden changes, sudden ups and downs, any change, right? And of also your state of mind, your happiness from relationship, Mangalya Bhava, because it's 2nd from your 7th house. So this is where it would ensure whether you're happy in your marriage or not. This Venus is making in the transit in the 3rd house of change, your courage, valor, younger siblings, your communication. This is going to bring in a change. Change is inevitable because your 3 and 9 axis is pretty active. Firstly, Venus is in the 3rd house. It is aspecting your 9th house by the 7th aspect of desire. So Venus desires Guru Upadesha during this time. You need to get some blessings or message from your mentor, from your Guru during this time. Any suggestion that you get from that person who you consider a teacher or a Guru, it will not harm you, because both Gurus are involved in Parivartan. So from a transformation point of view, it is good. It is going to bring in stress. It is going to bring in change. It is going to, of course, create a scenario for you to change in a forced manner, but be prepared for it, okay, because that could come in a sudden manner, and it is for greater good, okay. This is something you must remember. It is a kind of Viparita Yoga in transit for you, because Jupiter is making a transit for you in the 8th house. It's your 3rd and the 6th Lord. It's going retrograde. So it is attaining a good dignity during this time. Read Shri Suktam on a daily basis. That could, attract some positive energies and get some good vibes in your life. 3 and 8, Parivartana Yoga is difficult, but from a transformational point of view, it is very good. Change is inevitable. Change is coming. You will have a change in your personality. You will have a change in your outlook in life. And you will also have a change as far as the kind of efforts that you put. So you'll have to put more efforts, but at least you will get results. If you put efforts, you will get results. Your communication is going to bring in a sense of influence. The target or objective for your communication would be or should be to build a relationship, and you will build credible, meaningful relationships during this transit. And for that, I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Scorpio Ascendants and what's happening with Scorpio Ascendants as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For you, Venus plays a very important role in relationship matter. That is something which I always say. They have some sort of relationship karma. Scorpio ascendants. Venus is your 7th lord of partnership, relationship, those people who are opposite to you. It also rules the kinds of conflicts in your life. It rules your expenditure. It's your 12th lord. Losses, your higher self-consciousness, your unlimited potential, your ability to get along well with other people, the kind of favors that you can have from your partners or from your business. So from a business point of view, the decisions that you will take in your business, the investment that you will make, the expenditure that you will have. Venus plays a very important role for all of this. This Venus is making a transit in your 2nd house of wealth, your Kutumbha Bhava. Your family is seen from this house. Your storage space. So this is where you would like to store everything, consume, share with your loved ones. And this is why we connect family to this house. This plays a very important role. Venus in the 2nd house is not good for relationship, okay, because it makes a person very much full of desire. So it gives a kind of hunger. Okay, so it is detrimental from a relationship point of view. So something that you need to protect for the next 1 to 2 months is your relationship, your partnership. Okay, this Venus is also aspecting your 8th house by its 7th aspect of desire. It wants you to change. It wants you to transform. It wants you to earn. It wants you to start a source of income. In case you've had a break in your work, in your job, this could be an opportunity for you to get something new, to start or have a source of income. Or for those who already have one, this could be an opportunity for them to have a secondary source of income. In case you work on something at a momentary basis to have some sort of commission or be involved in some trading, this could be a particularly favorable time for you if you get into some sort of trading exercise during this time. Jupiter is involved in parivartana or exchange with Venus. So your 2nd lord and 7th lord are involved in parivartana. Jupiter is your 2nd and the 5th lord. It is already making a transit in your 7th house in a retrograde motion. So this year has been full of relationship karma, and this is only going to intensify, but for greater good, because now Venus is putting focus on family matters during this time, on wealth creating opportunities. So this is more of a mixed parivartan yoga for you. So one thing that you have to protect is your relationship. Secondly, from a progress point of view, it is creating a natural dhan yoga in transit. That means you will earn wealth by your own effort, independently, individually. You will be able to create a source of income during this time, and this is quite an important phase for you. Change is inevitable, and this could happen in a sudden manner as well. So if in case you've been looking for getting any decision related to inheritance, this could be a potentially favorable time. Use mantras related to Venus. Chant mantras related to goddess Lakshmi during this time. Use a simple mantra, Om Lakshmi Nama, because Venus is making a transit in your 2nd house of speech. So if you worship Lakshmi, this will be a beneficial transit for you, because when Lakshmi is worshipped, we get blessings of Lord Vishnu during this time. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Sagittarius ascendants and what's happening with Sagittarius ascendants as far as Venus is transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. Please welcome Shukracharya in your ascendant, planet Venus in your ascendant. It's one opportunity that you get in a year, and this Venus is involved in a parivartana yoga with your ascendant lord, with the lord of the ascendant, lord of Lagna. See, Venus for you is a potent malefic. It's your 6th lord and the 11th lord. More than anything, it rules enemies and bigger enemies in life. It is the ruler of competition, your health and well-being, your deaths, your diseases, your focus on mental well-being, and also your intelligence. We also see intelligence from 6th house. It's a house of growth, upachaya bhava. And we also see job from the 6th house. Okay, what you do, service, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your daily routine, your daily tasks and duties. It is also your 11th lord of gains, your wider network, your friends, also opposition, also enemies, natural Badhak house. That's what the 11th house is. Okay, its lord doesn't play a very good role for the person. Now this Venus is making a transit in your ascendant. 6th lord coming in the ascendant, 11th lord coming in the ascendant is giving you a dhan yoga and also an ability to overcome opposition, overcome competition during this time. So something that you will learn during this time, because your 1st lord and 6th lord are involved in parivartan, are involved in exchange. We call it a dhimanta yoga. So if you learn something, it will be long lasting because you will become more intelligent, okay, and you will become a good orator or a good speaker, bringing eloquence in your speech, in your conversations, and what you say to others. You will be benefited by other people, and particularly those people who are of the opposite sex. So you will get some gains. So if you're a male, you'll get gains from female and vice versa. Okay, so this is the kind of opportunity which is there for you. Jupiter for you is your Lagna Lord and your 4th Lord, already making a transit in the 6th house in a retrograde motion. So this will support you to overcome enmity, overcome competition and such obstacles during this time. So eventually you will rise. Things could be slightly complicated initially, but eventually you will rise by the virtue of your own efforts. Remember one thing, this 1 month you have to pick up a course, you have to read a book, you have to learn something new, because what you will learn will be long lasting for you. This is the only remedy that I could suggest which will work well for you. Otherwise, you will be very conscious about your personality, about how you dress up, what to wear, what not to wear, how to carry yourself. You will have some changes in your wardrobe, and this could also be good for you. And for that, I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Capricorn Ascendants and what's happening with Capricorn Ascendants as far as Venus is transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For you, Venus is a Yoga Karaka planet, a very important planet because it's your 5th Lord and the 10th Lord, and it's making a transit in the 12th house in the sign of Sagittarius. It's a Yoga Karaka planet because it rules 2 very important houses, which are the Rajya Bhavas, 5th house and 10th house. 5th Lord rules your future, your progression. 10th Lord rules your work. How and when you will succeed at work is very much dependent on Venus in your case. And this Venus is 1 step away from entering your ascendant, which is going to happen in December. So be prepared for that transit because it's going to be an exciting closure as far as year 2024 is concerned for you. And I hope the beginning of 2025 is equally fruitful. Now this is your 5th Lord and the 10th Lord making a transit in the 12th house. Venus generally does well in the 12th house because it is the natural house of its exaltation. And also the fact that it is a natural benefic and a functional benefic for you. So more than anything else, this transit is going to make you be more self-aware. And if you become more self-aware regards to your strengths, opportunity areas, you will have new work-related opportunities during this time. So workplace scenario could be a bit challenging initially, but things are going to improve. You need to have some spiritual practices or spiritual routine during this time. Do yoga, do sadhana, meditation. That is going to help you. Have devotion towards Goddess Lakshmi during this time. That is the ultimate remedy for you because it is making a transit. Venus is making a transit in your 12th house. Now during this time, Venus and Jupiter are involved in a parivartan, are involved in an exchange. So your 5th Lord and 12th Lord are involved in this parivartan yoga. 5th house is the house of mantras, 12th house is the house of devotion. It is the house of giving away. So any mantras related to Lakshmi, it is going to benefit you 100%. This Venus is also aspecting your 6th house, so it wants you to improve your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Donate towards female welfare, women welfare. Okay, donate towards the education of a girl child during this time. It is going to be highly beneficial for you. And this is something which you must understand. See, Jupiter is your 3rd and the 12th Lord. It is already making a retrograde transit in the 5th house. So any mantras that you use during this time is going to expand your horizon and of course reduce the amount of stress that you might be in. So this is gradually bringing a sense of relief as far as your mental well-being is concerned, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Aquarius Ascendants and what's happening with Aquarius Ascendants as far as Venus is transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For you, Venus is a Yoga Karaka planet because it's your 4th Lord and your 9th Lord. 4th Lord of comfort, your mother, your homeland, your happy space, your space of delight where you feel most comfortable. It is also your 9th Lord of Bhagya. It's your Bhagyesha, the Lord of Fortune, long distance journey, your spiritual knowledge, your higher learning, father or father figure, your guru. This Venus is making a transit in the 11th house. Please welcome Venus in the 11th house. Any planet, and particularly if it's a Yoga Karaka, it does very well in the 11th house. It is an opportunity transit for you. The next 1 month is quite crucial because firstly, it's your 4th Lord, 9th Lord making a transit in the 11th house. It is forming a yoga. Bhagya is supportive as far as wealth related matters are concerned, as far as having a source of income is concerned, because we see Aya from the 11th house. So you could also end up spending in luxuries or some sort of equipment in your house that will reduce work. So you could get a new machine, new television, new system, or a new kitchen equipment during this time, which would reduce your efforts, which would help you ease out things as far as your house is concerned. So this is quite a probability. This Venus is aspecting your 5th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So you have to deal with your children. So there is some karma pertaining to children during this time, and also connect well with your mother, improve relationship with your mother during this time. So there are two things which are there. See, Aquarius ascendants, Venus plays a very important role because it rules your mother and your father. So they naturally have a karma towards their parents. Okay, this is something which no one talks about. It's a deep astrological secret. And during this time, Venus is involved in a parivartan yoga with Jupiter. So your 4th Lord and 11th Lord are involved in parivartana, are involved in exchanging of places. Jupiter is your 2nd and the 11th Lord. It is already making a retrograde transit in the 4th house. Okay, and this is where you have already stepped out of your comfort zone. Okay, now it is time to look at getting certain results. You need to focus on health. Health and well-being could be of a concern during this time, so you'll have to make sure that you focus on establishing a daily routine if you were to progress and if you were to succeed as far as life matters are concerned. But from a financial point of view, it is good, but this will continue to ensure that you're out of your comfort zone and do something to create a source of income for yourself, and I wish you the very best. Let us now talk about Pisces ascendants and what's happening with Pisces as far as Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius is concerned. For you, Venus is the 3rd Lord and the 8th Lord. It's a potent malefic because firstly it rules the house of valor, courage, change, your younger siblings, your communication, your right hand or things that you do from your hands, and also your 8th Lord of longevity. Suddenness in life, sudden changes, sudden ups and downs, unnecessary, unwanted changes. This is what the 8th house of the 8th Lord represents. But this Venus for you is making a transit in the 10th house. So there are two things here. Okay, firstly, Venus gains directional strength in the 4th house. In 10th house, it is losing direction. So somehow it is going weak. But at the same time, 10th house is a very powerful Kendra house, and most of the time, planets from a transit point of view and placement point of view give good results. They give results in 10th house. Results pertaining to career, pertaining to job, pertaining to work. Okay, and this Venus is aspecting your 4th house by its 7th aspect of desire. So it wants to improve your life. It wants to bring a sense of comfort in your life. And those things that you could do, which can make you happy, which can make you feel, get a sense of contentment, increase your mindfulness during this time. So the more you connect with nature, it is going to benefit you. Declutter your house and also declutter your workspace during this time. Make sure it is presentable, because Venus is the significator of presenting yourself and what you do. It is the source of interaction with anyone and everyone in this world. So from that matter, you need to declutter your workspace, and you also need to declutter your house during this time. If you work in an office, or if you could keep a white flower near to your workspace or where you sit and work, it could give you some benefits during this time. This Venus is involved in a parivartana yoga with your Lagna Lord Jupiter. So there is a 3rd house and the 10th house parivartana or exchange during this time. It's a good parivartana yoga. It's a good exchange yoga because it will ensure that this brings a good change as far as work related matters are concerned. It could have been stressful for you all the while. Jupiter is your first and the 10th lord, making a transit in the third house in a retrograde motion. It would have brought in some unnecessary change, or it would have taken more time for you to cope up with this change. Now you will start to get comfortable because this change seems to be good from a growth point of view. So you will feel that it is supporting your growth, your aspirations during this time. Okay. And Venus is also somehow going to improve work scenario or the environment at work. Your focus should be on building relationship, professional acquaintances. Use the power of your network because your network is your net worth. Increase your network, influence people, communicate with people at your workplace because you have the power of interaction through which you could have gains as far as your work related matters are concerned. Use mantras related to Jupiter during this time. A simple mantra, Om Guruve Namah, because this Venus is acting as if it's Jupiter in your 10th house, and it is going to expand work related opportunities, bring in new projects, bigger, better assignments. So this 1 month is an opportunity transit for you. Look up to your Jupiter, look up to your Lagna Lord, and try to improve its significations, and I wish you the very best. So this was about Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius and the powerful parivartana yoga that we're going to witness between two gurus, Venus and Jupiter. I hope and believe Venus's transit in the sign of Sagittarius improves our dharma, improves our fortune, and gives us the opportunity to do our due duties in our lives and bring a sense of abundance as far as our fortune is concerned. Thank you very much. God bless you all.